I think there is one fundamental point about the 4 points that I really would want to lean on, and that is the question of the centrality of the 4 point, the centrality of the African Union in China Africa engagement. If you remember, it's yes, the substantive points are very important, but also the symbolism of the visit. African Union headquarters was built by China. Now, Africa CDC at the time when we are still wrangling with COVID, that is critical. So I wanted to make that very clear, and it's also part of the 4 points agenda that the foreign minister has outlined. It's critical that you mention that Africa's relationship, particularly in the world, is determined by for quite some time by its former, colonial relationship. Francophone African countries via French, Commonwealth African countries via the British, and then its attendant wherever. I think that is why, for many Western commentators, the fact that African countries and Chinese, cooperation doesn't comport to that, it becomes incredibly difficult for them to work out. But I think the most important thing is this trip is coming on the back of the African US Africa Summit, and it is on its 33rd year. So I think there is a tremendous amount of lesson for other actors who would want to come into this space to learn from putting in the time, learn from saying we would do X, Y, Z and follow through, including the Africa Center for Disease Control. This was, an implementation of a 2018 agreement between China during that was given by the current president. So I think it is an opportunity for not just other actors, but also for the African actors, particularly its leadership, to try and align some of the big moving pieces in the Africa's geopolitical engagement with the Chinese engagement, because it wouldn't be useful if it is just a one-way traffic. And I think for the Chinese leadership, they're trying in a very, very respectful way, pointing in that direction. If it's trade, if it's economic development, if it is also cultural exchanges, if it's about governance, sharing interest. And the fourth point, which is as part of the 4 point, is the unity of purpose and clarity of mission in terms of achieving or strengthening and deepening Africa-China relationship.